Mr. Speaker, we know how difficult it was to even get the bill onto the order paper. The spirited effort on the part of the majority leader to prevent this from getting onto the order paper is so notorious that we couldn't miss it in this house. Mr. Speaker, when it eventually got onto the order paper...
Majority leader. An honorable member, I would admonish you to be guided in your debate. Yes, majority leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, so maybe you just withdraw what he said so that we can proceed.
Very well, you heard the majority
Mr.
leader.
Speaker, it was so notable. In place of the word notorious, Mr. Speaker, I introduced the word notable. Mr. Speaker, it was so notable that it could not be missed. Mr. Speaker, when it eventually got onto the order paper...
Honorable member. Honorable member,
Speaker,
kindly withdraw.
I withdraw. And Mr. Speaker, it was so notable. But it was so notable that it couldn't be missed.
Honorable member, kindly resume your seat.
Notable.
Kindly resume your seat. Yes.
And sir, Messi, when it comes to disrespect, arrogance on the part of the minority caucus in parliament, it is something that you cannot belabor. Remember, the show you are watching is The Bitter Truth. Truth is bitter, it must be told. The minority, the irresponsible, reckless minority, sometimes their conducts, their behavior in the floor of parliament is becoming unbecoming, and truth must be told. I think that it is high time that we look right into their faces and tell them the truth. They are being irresponsible as members of parliament on the minority caucus, describing a colleague majority leader as notorious in the floor of parliament in the house. What is reckless? What I mean, such an irresponsible, unparliamentary language behavior from the part of being exhibited by Swami MP. Bafuwa. He's so stupid and reckless that sometimes you listen to them, you become angry if you don't control your emotions. Have they forgotten? Are they aware that when they are not representing only their constituents or their personalities, but they are representing the embodiment of this country, this republic called Ghana? Such an irresponsible and reckless attitude that they are demonstrating. It is high time we tell them. You see, I'm saying that this platform is saying that the speaker, the leadership of parliament must put their feet down and begin to apply discipline, uphold discipline in the house. Remember, the show you are watching is Bitter Truth. If today is the first time that you are watching the show on Ghana News YouTube or the Facebook, kindly subscribe to the channel and let's hear from you. How do you feel? How will you describe the conduct of the minority? Some instances, it is so annoying. They behave as if they don't have conscience.
If you go through the report, you would find that it is captured succinctly that this bill was previously passed by this House and transmitted to the President of the Republic at the time, who refused or neglected to sign the bill into law after it had been duly transmitted to his office. Mr. Speaker, I recall how the executive secretary to the president at the time issued
A cease and desist order.
a cease and desist order
To the clerk
against the clerk
of Parliament.
to Parliament. In fact, the clerk was roundly ordered to cease
And desist.
and to desist
Exactly.
from seeking to transmit the said bill to the president.
That's the clerk. Cease and desist. That's the clerk. The letter is still there.
Mr. Speaker,
The letter is on record.
It wasn't the clerk.
those orders purportedly issued by the executive secretary of the president at the time were unconstitutional in nature.
They were unlawful.
They were unlawful orders which were not complied with by the clerk. Now, when His Excellency the President became seized with the matter, what did he do? He declined to sign the bill into law.
And use third parties to
Mr. Speaker, I would want to assure my colleagues on the other side that we will enact this bill into law with deserving speed.
the pen is ready.
And Mr. Speaker, let me assure them that when this bill is eventually passed into law, your clerk would not suffer the cease and desist orders the executive president purported to unleash on him. In fact, I can assure you that the transmission of the bill from this house to the office of the president would be seamless and smooth.
I will take it there myself. I will take it there myself.
And again, I can assure you that knowing who this current president is, he will not run away from his constitutional mandate
There's the pen.
of signing bills duly enacted into law by this house. He will sign,
Here's the pen that he used. The pen is ready.
and the difference at that point would be very clear to all, for all to see. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I support that this house adopts the report of the committee and do justice the same. Thank you.
Now you may be asking, what necessitated does Emma Oye, a minority member, would describe the majority leader as notorious, with false statement that he is opposing the laying of the anti-LGBTQ bill. This is a bill that in this country, it is a thriving knowledge. How former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo shamefully hide behind a legal suit to refuse assenting to the anti-LGBTQ bill. Unless you are a stranger in this country, it may be about the inyim zokodo. Woman can kakra. Miss Mamonya among your 70 yan singing in Zimukoriza. Also, the yeti among your summoning ya to Achindama Mbodom. Let it not be because of politics until we throw away political honesty, political integrity to the dogs as being exhibited by minority most of the time. Let truth be told. Who is not aware? Who doesn't know the machinations, the diabolic agenda, legal suit agenda that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the former president, His Excellency, hide behind to refuse assenting to the bill? Look, minority shamefully one Ferrari held series of press conferences recently to castigate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama NDC-led administration, trying to coerce Ghanaian citizens. Mahama that Ghana for he will not assent to, they won't pass the anti-LGBTQ bill. This were your stance. This were the noise that you made. Now, when the bill came to Parliament for the second laying, you are attempting to take glory for it, shamefully attempting to take glory for the second laying of the anti-LGBTQ bill. When you know what, shame unto you, reckless, counterproductive minority. Now let's listen to what majority leader said. The defense he was putting up, the reasoner, Nana Uwa, referring to majority leader as notorious, when he was ordered to retract, to withdraw that statement in parliament, you could say majority leader.
At the time material, I was the ranking member for Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. I am privy to the debates that the majority leader is speaking about as to whether the bill not having been assented to in the life of that parliament, the bill lapses or it still remains a bill to be forwarded to the current president to assent to. So the statement that the majority leader resisted the bill being placed on the order paper cannot be factually correct. It is on that basis that I will call on the honorable member to withdraw.
Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, before he comes in to apologize or withdraw whatever instructions you are giving. Speaker, in the same light, my request or prayer would be that the majority leader should also withdraw the use of resisted by the former president. That is not a matter of fact. It is not a matter of fact. There is no evidence to that effect. Else, Speaker, we are going to insist that you would maintain the word majority leader resisted. Speaker, there is no factual situation to that effect. It is not a matter. What do you mean by resisted? How did he resist it? How? The letter amounted to resistance. Speaker, then we are not going to. I would advise my friend not to also withdraw. What does it mean by resisted? Nobody resisted it, and we are not going to allow you. If you are not excited about the use of resisted, why are you trying to use it on somebody else? You are claiming that you did not resist.
Honorable members, with all due respect, I was in Parliament as the ranking member when the letter emanating from the Executive Secretary came to the floor of the House. And the content of the letter was very clear. The Hansard of this House will bear everybody out. That is a matter of facts.
Speaker, unfortunately, you have been drawn into a debate. And Speaker, I do not think that is fair to this side. Speaker, you cannot say for a fact that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo resisted assenting to the bill. If there are legal processes and same had to be followed, Speaker, it does not amount to resistance. The majority leader is finding it offensive for my colleague to say that he resisted for the same bill to be tabled. And Speaker, it doesn't matter. I read, I follow. It does not amount to resistance. Majority leader was the one who resisted. He resisted. And that is factual.
Well, I don't think I am getting into the debate, but just drawing the attention of the House to a matter of facts. Yes, Honorable Roxanne Nelson.
Mr. Speaker, this is a house of records. And I'll show you, my brother, I'll show you the records. Speaker, I have in my hand a letter from the Parliamentary Service dated the 10th of April 2024. I'll table it. Please, I will table it. But let me submit the contents of the letter first. Mr. Speaker, it reads, the Secretary to the President, Office of the President, Jubilee House, Accra. Attention, Nana Bedietu Asante. Dear Secretary to the President, reply, transmission of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024. I am writing to acknowledge receipt of your letter number OPS 140/1/24/235 dated 18th March 2024 on the above subject matter and received in my office on 19th March 2024. I have taken note of the contents of the letter, particularly the text in the last paragraph, which states that in the circumstances you are kindly requested to cease and desist from transmitting the bill to the President until matters before the Supreme Court are resolved. Please, Jerry, please, Jerry, be patient. Mr. Speaker, paragraph 3. Accordingly, I await an indication in writing from your office on when to present the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024 to His Excellency the President for his consideration in pursuant to Article 1067 of the Constitution 1992. Mr. Speaker, please, Jerry, please, you have had your say. Speaker, these are the facts. Oh, please, Jerry, please. Speaker, these are the facts upon which my leader is making his submission. And Mr. Speaker, let the record further bear me out that on the 18th of December 2024, the Supreme Court determined the matter. It was the President who was still in office after the 18th of December. Yet no letter came to Parliament for the bill to be submitted for his assent. So if the leader is saying that based on this you resisted the submission of the bill for your assent, he's right. It's based on the facts.
Then he has to withdraw. Speaker, first of all, I'm not too sure if you admitted what my brother and colleague read from the other side. We are not seized with that letter or that correspondence. I do not, Speaker. We have not been furnished with a copy. We haven't seen it, Speaker. Besides that, assuming without admitting that the content that he read is a content we should work with or run with, Speaker, it tells you something which is critical. And as legal practitioners, fortunately for my colleague who is also a lawyer, he understands that what has to be obeyed is the decision of the Supreme Court. Was he saying that the President was supposed to have moved ahead of the Supreme Court's decision? Is that what he's asking? Well, did he also say that the President said until the determination of the matter, do not forward any further correspondence on this same matter to my office? And he comes here to say that amounts to resistance.
That is wrong.
Speaker,
no.
How does that amount to resistance?
I'm not debating, but to find out from you if Parliament is to perform a constitutional function of transmitting a bill passed by the House to the President, can there be a letter that desists from bringing it? The President could take the bill and decide that based on the pendency of the suit, I cannot act on it. But we debated this on the floor of Parliament and we concluded that Article 106, 7 and 8 is very clear as to what the President should do. The President can signify in writing that based on the pendency of the suit at the Supreme Court, I'm unable to sign the bill until the matter is determined. But for the Executive Secretary to write a letter to say that the bill that you have brought to me, cease to bring it, I think this House found that to be wrong, because the matter came before the House and both sides have debated it. That's why I'm referring you to the constitutional provision 106, 7, and 8. You see, so honorable members, I don't think we should deviate from debating the principle of the bill into this matter, because that issue, senior members here can bear testimony to the fact that it came before the House, it was debated extensively, and then the presiding officer then gave a ruling. Some people were even agitating that based on that singular act of the president, we should pass vote of no confidence. It was part of the debate. That was part of the debate. Here, they said that should be censured. It was part of the debate. Please, I indicated that you make a factual, you make a statement which is not correct. So kindly withdraw. We all know the position of the majority leader. Therefore, to say that he resisted the bill from being placed on the order paper cannot be factually correct. He wants expeditious means of even getting the bill come into law. So the factual inaccuracy is the reason for which I'm asking the honorable member to withdraw.
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I would want to be guided. Mr. Speaker, is it a case that, Mr. Speaker, I know that the
Will you withdraw or you
Mr. Speaker,
withdraw?
I want to be guided. I want to be guided. Mr. Speaker, the rules and practices of this House rest in your bosom. Is it a case that when an objection is raised, you don't hear the other side, but you immediately ask the person to withdraw? If that is the case, I'll proceed.
Honorable member, you have the floor to speak.
Okay. Mr. Speaker.
You have the floor to speak.
Sure.
And you spoke. The practice of the House is that when you make a statement and your opponent is offended by the statement that you are making, they will throw the statement back to you that, look, you have said ABCD, the member is offended. You understand? So you take a decision, you do the honorable thing that, oh, if you are offended by what I have said, then my statement is withdrawn. That is what we do. But if you insist that you will not withdraw, you can enable me to take decision on that.
Well, Mr. Speaker, very respectfully, let me make a few points for your consideration. Mr. Speaker, from the submission made by the learned majority leader, Mr. Speaker, what is clear is that he had a view for which he thought that we should not debate the matter. And so the bill should not get onto the order paper. Mr. Speaker, that is resistance.
He never said so.
For good reason.
He never said so.
Mr. Speaker, that is resistance.
Honorable member, will you withdraw?
Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that...
Kindly resume your seat. Resume your seat.
Mr. Speaker, if you insist, I'll withdraw.
Yes, at the time material.
You see the irresponsible posture that the minority member was putting up even after the speaker ordered him to withdraw that first statement in that unparliamentary conduct, unparliamentary language that he used against the majority leader. He was, I mean, he was not even willing. He was trying to justify that reckless unparliamentary conduct he put up. You see, I think it is important that we let our parliamentarians understand that the business of the House, their conduct does not go to their individual person, their image or their constituents, but it's an embodiment of the Republic of Ghana. So they must live up to their responsibility. They must be responsible enough and accountable to the citizens of the country to stop that irresponsible behavior that they are putting up. Mercy, I am reminding them, recently their flag bearer, Dr. Alhaji Mahamud Baumia, met them and advised them. Who doesn't know the genesis, all the brouhaha that surrounded this bill, that surrounded the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill? Who doesn't in this country? It's a trivial knowledge. Any discerning mind who has followed parliamentary business, parliamentary activities, sabi knew the stance that former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo took as far as the human rights, the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill is concerned. When it took several years, several agitation from the religious institutions, from civil societies, with all the expenses that they incurred, the consultations that went on, that they finally, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo hid. He hid behind a legal suit. Wamayanka no kwa ne sabi aya minority anamba shabugo fun wo hunde sabi enyansafo wo manuma worhwe their conduct. Wo hunde enyansafo wo omanuma worhwe the conduct, the behavior they are putting up in parliament, the way and manner they are handling, going about parliamentary businesses. Enyansafo wo manuma worhwe mama wonyi fi the new bia no ye MPP ni poti ana NDC ni kete sabi that means that thinking, that warp thinking, that warp knowledge that parliamentarians are possessing, exhibiting, especially the minority. Mercy, and you want to about me to before parliament resumed ana Omayan come current one sabi some na origin or dos dodo, and it doesn't inure to the benefit of the corporate MPP brand image, and it does not inure to the image of MPP. An MPP in opposition, the pillar that should sustain the party is parliament, the minority in parliament, the way they will play opposition, a responsible, convincing opposition to the ruling government that will encourage the citizens to consider them as responsible government in waiting. Now, sabi this recklessness, excuse my language, this childish and foolish behavior, conduct in it, sometimes in Italy. I mean, it's so annoying. You ask yourself, these are people who I mean, by parliamentary practice, they're expecting us to call them honorable. Let truth be told. Remember, the show you're watching is the bitter truth. You are disgracing the country, not only your constituents, all the political party you belong to. Name the corporate image of the Republic of Ghana is at stake, and let's look right in your faces and tell you to stop that childish behavior, that reckless and parliamentary conduct. Yes, the bill has come in recent times. About some no one can, about some no one fambo or NDC, especially His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, Anti-Lgbtqi bill. Woman Kada Mahama on pass wada dagana for. If it has come to parliament for second laying, one can one to me. After all, I did most want to me yet. So sit there and wait and let Ghanaians see if overpass now Oba sent to it and on ya. It's leave it to Ghanaians, and Ghanaians will decide and stop these childish things. Remember, the show you are watching is The Bitter Truth. If today is the first time you are watching The Bitter Truth, kindly subscribe to the Ghana Band News YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that anytime we have a program, you'll be notified to be part of it. Remember, the show is The Bitter Truth. How will you read the conduct of the minority? Are you pleased? Are you convinced? Are their actions convinces you that they are responsible government in waiting, that you'll be willing to place your vote on, to give your vote to, and drop it in the comment section. Thank you for using your data to watch the show. Kaide jumeza ya nukwa mwene penye fusa nukwa ya nakaya kana wana baka nukwa mwene ya baka dom kuma wan beshe bogo msebi nsem huwa worize neno wama yang fichi yensi yang kanu kwa ncha wan nanse nye wana nanse iba omya tu wanu fushe hunoze afutu zema wan sabi ana wawa asusu wantasam jumezini zina ranyi nukwa mwene if dom kuma wonu suna bana worde zi won beshe bogo ma ya kacha wane dai sabi wodin nsem huwa onya honkote won hu na wogu ni fi ana wa amayoku ne mo kai da wogu man Ghana no hu fi ya won akonya da yetum nya kire hena adwen yakasa kire on especially sabi so wodi nsam hu won brashe bugoma and ha na no kwanya ba ta straight the speaker parliament babin na ne mpanyi for the one for one nsi from one tree one ma so twembra ho ifie ho na manfo won hu dey oyanyibresam. They were sent there to do business, not to engage in recklessness. Kade jumezi zina ranyi no kwari jumezi senda yindo zikana reshe jumezi wa Ghana Band News ahomra simara yanisa da yensa yem. Subscribe to the Ghana Band News YouTube channel. For watching, refer to comment section on Facebook and feel free to share the link. Yeah, that's it. That's the data na umbre ahwe jumezi zina ranyi no kwari jumezi